What do you do on your morning drive to work? Welcome to the Good Life, where life is always good. My name is Kurt, and I am on my way to work this morning. And before I get going, can you give me a like and subscribe so we can push this channel out to other YouTube watchers? Well, on my way to work in the morning, a lot of times I listen to sports radio. Pre-election, I pretty much listen to Morning Joe on my way to work, but since the election, I have not listened to Morning Joe at all, so that's now part of my past. And before his passing, I spent 90 to 95% of my time listening to Joe Madison, the Black Eagle, on Sirius XM 126. But I don't listen to anything on MSNBC anymore. Maybe occasionally Aubrey Melber. I still like him. But now most of my radio listening is sports radio or whatever the mood is of the morning. But with that being said, I always have my morning coffee with me. That's something that I do enjoy. There is I don't know if he is a country western singer, but he has a country western type of vibe to him. His name is Dax, D-A-X. And from my little research on him, he's African American, and from my little knowledge of him, he had a drinking problem, and he completely turned his life around. And he has 4 songs that I listen to a lot. One of them is called Lonely. The other one is called To Be a Man. A song called it's called Real Man, and Lonely. And if I'm correct, To Be a Man he has with Darius Rucker from Hootie and the Blowfish. That song there is just a great song. It's called To Be a Man. If you ever get a chance, he has 2 versions of it, and one with Darius Rucker and one without. I also like to listen to the Commodores. Jesus is Love. That's a great song that takes me back to my childhood. And then there's Howard Hewitt with Say Amen, which is another great gospel song that takes me back to my childhood. So those are some of those specific songs that I listen to. But every once in a while, I'll get in a mood and I'll play rap, and I'll just guide my way in to work. Very seldom do I ever just turn off the radio and be in my thoughts. Sometimes I don't think that's a good place because my mind runs a lot. So just having something to listen to that has meaning. Sometimes I listen to those songs and sometimes my eyes water. And I know sometimes as African American men, we deal with stress a lot different. We deal with depression differently. And the most common things that we do is we sit in silence. And that's not good. it's good to have someone to talk to, someone to lean on. I still struggle with, talking, even to my wife about some of the things that, I'm going through. So that's why those songs by Dax really hit home with me, especially To Be a Man. He says, in the song, being a man can be a lonely place, and I agree. And it's one of those things that you know what it is, but you can't explain it. And I can't explain it. And sometimes, instead of trying to explain it to people, just don't say anything. I just deal with it, my own way. And I haven't turned to alcohol or drugs, none of that. But like of late, my release has been, going to deal with my garden. I don't have anything in the ground yet because we're still getting cold weather. But I'm going in the ground next Friday. But just dealing with my plants has become my way of taking my mind off the world. Although I will say that I actually am in a good place. I plan on going back to therapy. As a matter of fact, I may make me an appointment this afternoon, because that is something that I did feel better after each time that I spoke with her. Going to therapy isn't easy because you're laying out your life to a complete stranger. That's why, I don't think my wife doesn't understand why I haven't changed doctors and gone to a doctor near home, or a dermatologist near home, because I've been with my doctor, since the late 90s. And even though I don't see her anymore, I'm seeing another doctor in her office, but I'm still in my doctor's office, just because that I have that level of comfort. And for me, comfort goes a long way. If I'm at a level of comfort, I feel a lot better. Because I would hate to have to go to a new doctor and re-explain my life, or having to go to a new dermatologist and explain my situation. Now, I did change dentists because, that was another reason. But I am all about being in a comfort zone. Yes, sometimes it is good to be uncomfortable, because a lot of times when you are uncomfortable is when you have your best success. So I do go outside the box. I'm not one of those that just I live in a box. I do everything. I do everything the same way every day. I'm not a routine person, but for me, I have to have some level of comfort when you are opening yourself up. That's why I like like having a black doctor. I like having a black dentist. Just having that level of comfort. But I am in a good place. I'm happy. Love my family. I absolutely, love being around them. I love my job. So my health is getting better. I am working out more. My wife and I went for a walk through the neighborhood yesterday, and almost 2 miles. Well, actually closer to 1.5, I believe. But if you get yourself in your happy place, because everyone's happy place or happy spot is different. And not judging where some people's happy place is. I just know where mine is. My happy place may be the beginning point of somebody else's, and my happy spot may be the next person's, their roof, their baseline. But, for everyone is different. But I just want to hop on and say, good morning to everyone, and I hope you have a great day. Today is Tuesday. What's the date? April the 8th. Is it April the 8th? Yeah, April. Gosh, this year's already going fast. We're in the 4th month, which will be, I guess, the first quarter. I guess, I don't know. But yeah, as I'm passing by the billboard that has the lottery amounts, the Powerball is 65, and the Texas Lotto is 54 million. Gosh, this only dream it would be like to check your bank account and you have $45 million in it, or $20 million in it, and gosh, what a life-changing moment. But my wife and I had this conversation, and I would not literally quit my job the moment I realized I won. I would give myself a month, maybe 2 months, just to kind of ease myself into literally not having to work anymore. Like I say, I enjoy going to work. I don't always enjoy the hour and a half drive to work or the 2-hour drive home. But just as far as when I get to work, I enjoy it, So I would ease my way into, never having to work again in my life. I just don't want to just quit my job and all of a sudden just go on this, spending spree. And I want to remain humble, and me remaining humble would be working for a little bit longer. I think my wife will work for a little bit. Yeah, we always, laugh and joke. Oh, if I win a lottery, they'll never see me again. If I win the lottery, I'll be a no call, no show. We all, make those jokes, but I would get my butt up the next morning. Well, maybe not the next morning. I'll take a day off just to kind of breathe and pinch myself a few times to think, is this really real? But yeah, I would get up the next morning, and well, not next morning. I would get up and the day after and go to work, and I would would go through the whole 2-week notice thing. Yeah, I really would. Just to remain humble. All right, y'all. I am about 20 minutes from work, so you guys have a good day, and I will probably pop on this afternoon, and this video will be posted within the next half an hour or so. I don't know, just whenever I get to work and kind of get myself settled in. So you guys have a good day, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you this afternoon. Peace out.